As the holiday season approaches, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, Americans are feeling the pain of soaring prices and rising inflation. Of course, this is the opposite, not only of what Donald promised he'd deliver on the campaign trail, but to what he's actually saying now. He's constantly lying through his teeth about how inflation is low and prices are falling. He was lying then, he's lying now. And all of a sudden, in the wake of the massive Democratic victory in the election a couple of weeks ago, he suddenly seems to think that we're going to believe him when he says he cares about affordability because it's a crisis and it is a crisis of his making. But first, let's look at reality. Wholesale turkey costs have gone up 40%. Canned vegetables are about 5% more expensive because, yep, tariffs on steel and aluminum that are entirely Donald's fault. In response to rising prices, Donald has announced rollbacks of tariffs on beef, coffee, tropical fruits, and other goods, which suggests something to me. Hmm. Yeah, it suggests to me that tariffs are the problem. But food economist David Ortega warns NPR that this will only slow future price increases, not reduce current holiday costs, because, yeah, he's a food economist who actually understands the economy in the way that Donald does not. So clearly, these tariffs should not have been implemented in the first place. And then again, just because he got it through his thick skull that maybe they are inflationary, repealing them is not going to change anything right away. NBC News has been tracking grocery prices using data from the research firm NIQ. According to their findings, since last November, chicken breast prices are up 24 cents per pound nationwide. Fresh ground beef is up 78% per pound, and orange juice is up $1.08 per 32 ounces. Additionally, bacon is up 35% per pound, and bread is up 4 cents per loaf. These are significant cost increases, especially if you're an American working paycheck to paycheck or an American who's out of a job entirely. Recently, the Associated Press reported on an American Communities Project Ipsos survey measuring the concerns of Americans. Dante Chinney, the founder and director of ACP, told the publication, quote, concerns about inflation are across the board. One thing that truly unites the country is economic angst, unquote. He did it. He did it. Remember when George W. Bush said that he was a uniter, not a divider, and we all laughed in his face because that nothing could be further from the truth? Well, Donald has always been a divider, and he's proud of it. He likes dividing us against each other. And look what's happened. He has brought us together with him as the common enemy who continues to destroy the American economy and makes people's lives miserable and unaffordable. Naturally, Donald's reaction to this affordability crisis that he created is, as I said, to lie about it because he is incapable of taking responsibility for anything, something he learned from my sociopathic grandfather. Recently, when a reporter asked him about the issue outside Air Force One, he had this to say.
And again, I go to Walmart and other companies, and in every case, it's about 25% that a meal, a Thanksgiving meal and surroundings are 25% lower than it was under the Biden administration. That's a big fact, and that comes from Walmart and others that do that. Okay?
Sorry, for a second I thought he actually meant he went into a Walmart, but, groceries is a very old-fashioned word, and I don't think he would know what to do if he went into a Walmart and saw the groceries. Anyway, he meant he went to Walmart executives, who either lied to him or just nodded while he made shit up. I don't know which. But also, when he lied about how the cost of Thanksgiving dinner is down, he said the turkey and surroundings. I That too may be a word that is no longer in fashion, at least when it's used in that way. I think he meant fixings. You know, the stuff other than the turkey that people consume on Thanksgiving, or at least used to when we could afford things like stuffing and sweet potatoes and well, hopefully we can still afford mashed potatoes because, you know, mashed potatoes are essentially important to the Trump family. Of course, everybody in the Trump regime is towing the line for Donald, lying to the American people about prices and inflation. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett gaslit consumers on CNBC, which seems to be the man's full time job, quite frankly. Here's that clip.
Now, inflation is still 3%. It's still too high. Now, oil prices, energy prices, there are certain things where they have come down. But when you keep saying prices are falling, that's not true because inflation is still, the 3% is on top of all the inflation we had during the Biden years. So we got all that inflation plus an additional 3%. And we should, I think you should admit that.
A more precise way to say it, though, Joe, is that purchasing power has gone up. And so real wages, that's W divided by P for our technical people of the audience, have gone up by about $1,200 this year. So the way to think about it is that we've dug a $3,000 hole because of Biden policies, and we've gained $1,200 on the way out already, which should give you a great deal of hope for the future that the wage increases that we're seeing will continue. And even if inflation stays positive, make it so that people feel way better when they go to the grocery store. And I mean, there's a million things that we're doing to fix this problem, but it's just kind of astonishing to me that the cost problem is somehow being blamed on us.
We don't want you to do a million things. We want you to do one. And did he just throw out a mathematical equation as if that was going to convince anybody that their grocery bills aren't higher? I'm so sorry to use that outdated word groceries again for those of you who don't know what it means, because it has fallen out of use. I just mean the stuff you buy at the market or the grocery store. Anyway, quick question. Not that it matters, but I'm beginning to think that Scott Bessent, Howard Lutnick, and that guy were separated at birth. Anyway, Texas Congressman Keith Self parroted much of the same language on Newsmax, going so far as to use Fox State TV as his source for economic data. It's like a circle. Take a look.
Because if you saw Fox News just recently, groceries, gas, inflation in general is down under President Trump. Now, the mainstream media won't tell you that, but those are the actual numbers. We just have to get the American people understanding that things are better off and are going to continue to get better because of the one big beautiful bill that kicks in 1 January. Going forward, things are going to be better, people are going to feel better, and we're going to get this country back on track.
Yeah, I mean, you go to, like you said, you go to the grocery store, you go to the pump, prices are definitely lower.
No. Also, again, Fox is not a news source. It's not even news. And the idea that Fox is not part of the so-called mainstream media is laughable. I do kind of love the fact that during that entire segment of his interview, we were just seeing pictures of Jeffrey Epstein. So basically what they are telling us very clearly is that their goal is to convince Americans that facts are not facts. You think prices are higher? No, they're not. Okay. But before we go on, with the Trump regime continuing to lie to us, we have to amplify the truth at every opportunity. So please like and share this video. And if you believe in our mission, please subscribe to the Mary Trump Media channel. In the United States, beef prices have risen considerably and seem on track to continue to do so for several years. Omaha Steak CEO Nate Rempe spoke about this crisis on Fox Business, and here's what he had to say.
We are headed for what I'm calling, Maria, the $10 a pound reality. By third quarter of 26, families are going to see $10 a pound ground beef in the grocery store. So we're in for a bit of a haul here. I don't believe we'll see price come down in any meaningful way until sometime in 2027.
Wow. So what can the administration do from a regulatory backdrop? President Trump's trying to rein in costs and get prices lower. What do you think the best bet is?
Well, I do think that, foreign supply is part of the picture. But, Argentinian beef only makes up about 2% of the total beef supply in America. So, the domestic supply is a super critical component to keeping prices low.
Right. But Donald's not interested in keeping prices low. He's interested in doing favors to his friends in other countries that seem more important to him than taking care of the American people. One of Donald's so-called solutions is to reverse tariffs that he placed on beef, which is why cattle farmers are in this mess and why Americans are about to pay $10 for a pound for ground beef. I'm grateful for many reasons that I'm a vegetarian, but apparently have a new reason to be grateful. So he's responsible for all these problems, and his fix, so-called, just to undo the damage, isn't going to kick in for months. So everybody, get used to not eating. Please take a second and like and share this video. It'd be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please follow us and give the show a 5-star rating because it really does help other people find our content. Thanks.